We're here with David at True Carnivores, and look at his beautiful dog Chica down there.
She's okay, isn't she? You know, it's first thing in the morning and she's still a little lazy.
That's great. He's got this big, beautiful store here in Kerrisdale, and I wanted to talk to David today because he has been running this business for over 20 years. Is that right?
22 years now. True Carnivores has been around and going strong.
Amazing.
It is amazing. It's no longer sorcery or witchcraft anymore.
Exactly. It's mainstream, this raw stuff, and lots has changed in the industry. But I wanted to talk to David to figure out some of the misconceptions about moving from kibble to raw. Still, there are lots of myths out there. And what do you think people need to learn in terms of educating them on raw, like some of the benefits of moving from a processed diet to a raw diet?
Well, I think you hit it on the nail on the head when you said processed diet. So there's two options. We go processed food or real food, or we call fresh food. Now, although fresh food could mean things like cooked, home cooked, which we'll endorse, but there has to be some education around that. And our biggest challenge in this industry is not so much training, or it's not so much the education, it's really uneducating people.
Exactly.
And that's something that we're always on people and saying, no, that's not what it is. So the whole kibble mentality literally has to be thrown out the window.
Yeah, because people believe that kibble's better for their dogs because they've been told that for so many years.
Absolutely,
and still the vets are still promoting the kibble diet. So what do you think are some of the big benefits of moving from that kibble diet, which is processed, to a fresh, frozen, raw diet?
Well, I mean, where does one begin? So, as in humans, I mean, where we're living enzymatically rich foods, then, I mean, we can't help but benefit. So, things like cleaner breath, smaller poo, lack of this thirst drive. I mean, it's hard to tell on a puppy sometimes. Puppies are very resilient, and dogs are incredibly resilient.
Yes.
I mean, they can survive on, even a vegan diet, to be honest with you. And I think that's it's sad, but we're talking about thriving. So if you look at the outward appearance of a dog and what we can physically see, we'll see shiny teeth, we'll see a nice beautiful coat as well as shiny coat. We'll see those things, but those things are on the outside. What we don't see is what's going on the inside.
Yeah, talk more about the internal changes for the animal.
Well, I mean, without getting too technical, I mean there is a pH change in the actual system, so the acids do change on a more natural diet. So this whole store, if you look around this whole store, it is virtually completely compatible. In other words, if I was to take anything in the store and put a chunk of, say, hamburger, for example, on it, or I bought some chicken at home and I wanted to put a breast on there, it's all compatible. So this is how we tend to look at it. Raw food is highly acidic in the intestinal tract, which is compatible with the dog. Whereas kibble, or processed food, is highly alkalinized. So if we can look at it as, here's a glass of buttermilk and here's a glass of vinegar, and let's combine the two and see what happens. Well, one of the issues could be is sometimes we'll have an upset stomach, or we'll have a loose poo, in which we will equate that to being, my dog is sick.
Right.
But that is actually quite normal.
When they're switching.
When they're switching. At some times. I mean, a few of the dogs do that. Years and years ago, friends of ours used to come to our house and give our lab and German Shepherd a raw lamb femur. And I'll tell you, half an hour after they left, sure enough, vomit. So we always equated raw food or raw bones as my dog is sick.
Yeah, and I see you've got an amazing raw bone selection here for dogs, and so you've got all the benefits of feeding raw bones over there.
Sure.
What I hear a lot from my clients are kibble is better for their teeth. They're programmed to believe that kibble is great for teeth.
Sure.
And I see the bones you have here, there's a wide selection, different stuff going on. Looks really exciting. Talk a little bit about that.
I actually won't say anything because I'll show you something.
Yes.
If I can get this.
Show and tell.
This, I'm looking at her being a little lazy. Chica, come get over here. Now she's 5 years old now. Chica, sit.
She's so beautiful.
She's 5 years old, and I want to show you her lovely teeth. Now, keeping in mind, she has never had she wouldn't let me brush her teeth. So let's get a close-up here.
Of course.
And let's take a look. Chica, are you hungry? Yeah. Look at those.
Wow.
Now, they have never been brushed, and, well, actually, they have been. She brushes them herself on a daily basis. And so that's how we brush her teeth. I'll give you a couple of different styles of bones here. And we have got, let's say, something large. Now, this is a fairly safe bone. You want to look at, initially you want to get a bone the size of a dog's head, something very hard. There's a little bit of meat in here. There's some activity. This bone should last a few days. Won't go rancid on you once the meat is all stripped from it. And this is a nice sort of like chewing bone. Great for puppies. Great for anxiety. Dogs with anxiety. I would feel comfortable eating this in my dog's crate. It's a fairly safe bone. And of course, you have to know your dog. This is very important. And for her front of the teeth, we're looking at a beautiful meaty beef rib. And for those who eat meat, I mean, feel free, throw this on the barbecue. It's absolutely amazing. Slather some barbecue sauce in it. And she will actually eat that with her front canines and go sit happily in the corner. There we go. You see how gentle she is, and she was trained that way. And then we have kind of like the mother mode. Now, she's been an extra good girl, and I didn't quite feed her last night. I call this like meat on a stick.
Yeah, there's lots of meat on there, isn't there?
Absolutely, and this is a free-range bison. So you've got the femur in here, and you've got that beautiful sort of bison meat, which again, it's all meat. So if I was to give this to her, she would have dinner or breakfast, and then she'll have something to work on in the initial part. So let's give it to her. She's been so good. Chica, go good night. Good girl. That's it.
And she goes back to her crate. Yeah.
Boy, she wants to. She's going to have this